back to the Run GMC Podcast. Today, I am joined by none other than Austin Alvarez. Me and him, I've gone back all the way to middle school. We recently just started a podcast, the Lukewarm Cinema Podcast. I've told you guys a little bit about it on my show already. But Austin, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really happy you decided to let me finally come on the show. I've been asking you for like a week, like, yo, man, let me get on the show. I know you're busy. It's okay.
I know. And it's because I wanted to make sure it was, all the stars were aligned just perfectly. I didn't want to bring you on when I wasn't on my A game. But anyways, what have you done today?
Worked, and then I had like Chick-fil-A twice today. I don't know if that makes you big. Yeah.
What's the go-to at Chick-fil-A for you?
Dude, number one with American cheese, dude.
Number one's just a sandwich, right?
Yeah, just a sandwich. Not the deluxe. I don't like all that, the extra stuff on there.
The lettuce and the tomato?
Yeah, no.
Their chicken sandwiches are bomb.
Great. But this morning I had like the Chick-fil-A biscuit with the hash browns. Dude, the hash brown, like little sides, gold. Just gold.
I don't think I've ever had Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
I haven't until like recently, like I want to say a few months ago.
I love their French fries though. So if their hash browns are anything like their French fries,
hash browns are definitely better than their French fries.
Ooh.
It's funny. I talk about this all the time. Like if I have to rank like fries, like Jack in the Box is gonna be number one.
Oh my! I had Jack in the Box 2 nights ago. Horrible time. I will tell you about it after this. But rank them. Let's go. Jack in the Box.
So Jack in the Box, and then you got to do. I would say like McDonald's, and then probably like not Wiener Schnitzel, because Wiener Schnitzels are just like little noodles.
Yeah, I know, but they're really good. Underrated.
They're good if you're drunk, sure, but
all fries are good if you're
drunk. But like Cane's and Chick-fil-A, like lowest ranking fries for me.
Really?
Yeah, lowest ranking.
So the thing I love about Chick-fil-A fries is because they're the perfect dipping fry. Like when I'm able to take the entire fry and just dunk it in there and get all the nooks and crannies. Oh, I forgot to text my parents. You mind handing my phone? That's beautiful. Hey, this is a reminder to everyone. You know, if you haven't talked to your parents in a while, call them right now. All right. Look, I'll text Fernando. I already talked to Fernando today and Gail. Lovely couple. I'm going to turn it off for you. Okay, back to the French fries. Chick-fil-A.
I would say, like, if I was going to do top 5,
they're number one for me. I know they're your lowest, but
if I was going to do top 5, I would have to do for sure Jack in the Box at the top. And just by themselves, dunking, I would have to say, like, even still, like with Red Hot, Jack in the Box fries are up there still. They're still up there.
The buffalo sauce.
See, it's good too.
Yes,
but like it's up there. But like just by themselves, I would say like Jack in the Box, McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, Cane's. Cane's is like my least favorite.
Yeah,
by themselves.
I could get, because the worst thing about Cane's fries too is if you get them from the drive-through and you drive, it doesn't matter how far away you live.
They're instantly just
soggy AF. You have to crack open the styrofoam thing immediately. If you
break the seal just to make sure you keep them nice and toasty.
Seriously. And then if they do come home soggy and you have an air fryer, people that have an air fryer, use the GD air fryer. They're the lifesavers. Like they're the best way to reheat food. I mean, pizza is better. Pizza's better in like one of those toaster ovens.
Yeah, you can't beat the toaster oven with like pizza bagels, like
any like bread where you need it like that crunchiness on the bread. You need to go with the toaster oven.
Yeah,
but when it comes to the air fryers, French fries, what else have I done in there? Chicken fingers. Oh, chicken fingers. Okay. So we said Chick-fil-A. You had it twice today.
Yeah.
What's your favorite sauce? Because Chick-fil-A, their sauces
from Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
All I ever get is just Chick-fil-A sauce. I've had everything else. It's good, but Chick-fil-A sauce just does it for me.
Have you had how do you feel about Polynesian?
It was good. Like I would say if I didn't have any Chick-fil-A sauce, I would definitely do that over ranch any day. Definitely over ranch.
Yes.
Definitely. But yeah. Chick-fil-A sauce all the way.
Did you know that you can buy the sauces in the big tubs?
No, I didn't. But now I'm going to go bankrupt because it's all I'm going to buy.
I think they're either $2.50 or $3, and you get a literal tub of the sauce. And it's not on the menu. I had to ask for it at a special time, but they've always had them where it's like I
it's
get
just
it.
like
that
In-N-Out with like animal fries.
Yeah, but they last forever too. You get to take them home and then you could put them on a whole bunch of different Chick-fil-A sauces.
See, I had a friend in high school who for Thanksgiving when you went and bought out like a gallon of cane sauce and was just like drenching everything at Thanksgiving with it. And I was like, that sounds like diabetes, but like in the best way possible.
I'm not a fan of like too much cane sauce. Like I like it in the moment, but then like it overwhelms me.
I feel the exact same way. It can be like extremely overwhelming and you're like, man, why did I eat this much? You're like sitting there just like, oh, I'm gonna go die. I don't want this.
It is my favorite. Fried chicken is my favorite food. I came to that conclusion like at the end of last year. I was really like, I like I don't hate food at all. And when it comes to it, I try anything. But I love chicken wings. I love chicken fingers. I love boneless fingers. Any sort of chicken that you bread and fry, sign me up. Popeye's chicken sandwich, best chicken sandwich. It's out right now. I don't know if you've ever had that one.
I think I've had one. No, I haven't had one yet. But so my dad had one. And that's how I knew, like, is it good? And he was like,
it wasn't worth the goddamn hype that these people
getting shot and
people getting shot. Literally, like the lines at Popeyes for
they're
2
still
weeks.
super long.
Well, it's no, because Popeyes has a lot of people that are incapable rejects behind the grease fryers. But like, that's why they take forever. Okay, so that leads me into this horrible Jack in the Box situation. So all these places that I've gone to since the coronavirus started, they've all been like, no cash, only card. Well, Jack in the Box, the last time I went to it, said no card, only cash. Like, I guess their card reader machine was broken. So we're in the drive-through and we kind of like got stuck in between cars. So I'm like,
because you're like, I don't have any cash.
Damn. Yeah, we don't have any cash.
You're stuck there for at least a good 10, 15 minutes.
But it was one of those Jack in the Boxes that were tied to the convenience store. So Cameron goes out, goes to the ATM. She gets the cash from, because we were like committed at that point. We got to get Jack in the Box.
You're already in the line. You got to do it.
Of course. So then we wait our turn in line, drive out, and then come back in, like stoked to order and everything. We order our munchie meals. I get the spicy nacho chicken. I think she got the stack grilled cheeseburger. And oh my God, I think we're in line for 25 minutes and we were the first car there. We're the only car in line. 25 minutes for 2 munchie meals. And what else do we get? We got the popcorn chicken. I don't know if you've been seeing them advertised.
Yeah.
It was quite possibly the worst Jack in the Box I've ever had. The lady who took my card had green eyeshadow, bright green eyeshadow, red hair, and red eyebrows, but like sharp, like me. Remember in the Wii when you used to create your me?
Yeah, dude.
Like one of those sharp, like,
dude, she was just
eyebrows.
picking back being bull, dude. Just let her do her thing.
No, trust me. But if her thing is taking 25 minutes to cook a goddamn munchie meal, I'll pass.
Yeah. So, okay. I also got tropical smoothie today because I had to go pick up, Vanessa from mom's house. And my mom was like, yo, I want tropical smoothie. Here's my card. Just get what you want. Every single time I've been in there, it's been at least 20 minutes. And the way I could tell is one time I had the radio on and like a Tool song came on and they're notorious for being just stupid long. And I was like, oh, Tool song's over and we're still in the same spot. 2 more Tool songs come on and we moved up like 2 spaces. I was like, oh my God, we're taking forever. And today, no exception. One time we went there and they were like, yeah, our register is down. So if you want to order, you got to order through the app and then you can just pick up at the window.
Oh my God.
So we were like, okay. And we did it and it worked fine, but it was like, okay.
It's those weird situations sometimes. Like I can only imagine, because when you're a fast food worker, like I worked at Panera Bread for 3 months, I believe. And it really like gave me insight as to how just poorly put together fast food restaurants are. Because the turnover rate's crazy. You have new people coming in every 2 weeks because everyone's coming in. And if they aren't getting fired, they quit because they're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So it's just like this hodgepodge of just 40-year-old people that have just been cycling through fast food jobs. You got young people that are in college. You got people that are like in their mid-20s that are like trying to figure it out. And then shit like that happens where it's like, now they have to be the bearer of bad news to the hundreds of people that come in.
All the Karens who just don't care about their feelings.
I want my food now. And
literally.
I'm like, you got to understand what's going on back here, ma'am. John, he's on his second day. Jeff back there has been smoking cigarettes in the by the dumpsters for the last 20 minutes. We are struggling right now Karen.
I'm personally on day 3 of training, and I'm already not even being trained anymore. See,
I'm doing training.
I feel grateful because I never worked fast food. I did work minimum wage jobs. Like I did have to struggle and stuff like that, but like I never worked fast food. And I feel like, I guess, privileged in a way that I never had to work fast food because I had friends that were like, dude, it's terrible. I hate it.
It takes I mean, if you do it for a long time, like it becomes like you get in the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
But like I was 18 at the time, first job ever, you know.
First job at 18?
Yeah.
Well, you were too busy being a star athlete.
Well, thank you. Well, my parents never let me, dude. Like my parents, deadass were like, you focus on school and sports, and I'm blessed that I had that opportunity.
I mean, well, it worked out.
Mm-hmm. It definitely did, and I mean, it taught me the values that I needed to go in and not fail in any workplace. Like, they instilled in me. You know what sports does is you learn that hard work. You learn how to be somewhat disciplined when you need to. Like, I'm a pretty undisciplined person. When it comes to like going to the gym and stuff, I'll go 2-3 weeks and I'm like, I'm fine.
See, sports also teaches you how to wrestle on bruised ribs like I had to. So it teaches you how to just learn that people just don't care how you feel.
Be a tough ass son of a bitch.
Be like, Coach, I can't breathe.
He's like, that's what it's supposed to be like. That's where the change happens, son.
Remember, I did ROTC in high school, and we're doing like for PT, which we did 1 day a week. We did soccer. So we're playing soccer, and I got hit straight in the nads. And I was like, Master Sergeant, can I sit out? He's like, you know how many times I was out in a war zone and I got hit in the nads and I kept fighting? I'm like, okay, this is high school class soccer. This isn't even like competitive soccer. Can I just go sit and breathe for 20 seconds?
How intense because that was an ROTC, right?
Yeah.
How intense did sports in ROTC get? Because those games, like when I would see kids in high school who in ROTC playing like those flag football games or like you said soccer, shit seemed intense.
Well, we had something called Snatch the Bacon, which is it was basically like Red Rover. You had 2 lines, but you had a tied up like shirt or towel in the middle, and you had to run. They would number you like 1 through like however many people were in your line, and then they would like had a command like whatever student that would be like all evens, and then all the evens just start running out there, and you'd have to get it to your side without getting touched. Now you could like just cherry pick it and throw it to somebody and they could just start running.
Mm-hmm.
But the few of us that were athletes always were just like, because not to be mean, but you always got the kids that were like, I'm doing this to skip PE. And then day 1 of PT, they're like, we're doing 500 push-ups. Get ready.
Those kids, what idiots. Like, yeah, let me not do PE. Let me just join the military.
Literally, because we had uniforms you had to keep dry clean, and you had to keep everything squared away. There was measurements you had to follow. There was like one of the best classes I ever took, and the people that are like scared of it, that walk in scared, like I was scared like my first day for like 5 minutes, and then afterwards like, oh, this isn't that bad. It's nothing like the military. Like those dudes that kiss their girlfriends like they're about to go to Afghanistan. Nothing.
Well, that's real life. Like you're going to second period.
You're going to second period, literally. Like I remember I had one that was second period, and kids would walk in and they'd be like, I'm coming into a war zone. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go play like COD after this. What are you talking about?
That's more of a war zone than what we're about to experience here.
Yeah. But the games, because like we wouldn't play sports a lot. We would do physical fitness. We would do, okay, we're going to get in shape. We're going to learn how to do push-ups. Because there are people that like didn't know how to do a push-up straight up. And you're like, did you not learn any? Because I know we do them in PE in middle school.
Yeah, but the amount it's gone down, I feel, definitely over the years.
ROTC, the amount went down. Like from my freshman year to my junior year, which is the last year I was in, the amount of like discipline that they instilled in you and like the amount of physical fitness and everything, dropped from it. I'm pretty sure they got in trouble for something because some kid was like, I can't handle it.
My asthma. Shout out to all the people that have asthma. And shout out to all the people that have asthma, but really don't have fucking asthma. Your parents just told me you had asthma when you were 2 years old and you've just been believing it. Because you're a fat shit, and every time you run,
that's me now. That's me now, dude. I go up a flight of stairs and I'm like, whew, all right.
Is this my asthma?
Is this my asthma I was told about? But sports in ROTC though was like, you had all the kids that were like, yeah, I'm gonna be like Kobe, and then they would shoot like Shaq, and you're like, I don't know if you have Kobe material, buddy. I don't even know if you have Shaq material. You're like 5'4". Go.
Yeah, they'd be lucky as fuck to have Shaq material. You have Jerome material. He lives on the side of the corner, and He plays basketball at the local park, and that's as far as he gets.
13-year-olds because he knows he can cross them.
Oh, but then sometimes the 15-year-olds come and then he gets kicked out.
But yeah, so the few of us that and we would do these things called I forgot what they were called, but it was basically like the pacer test. It wasn't the pacer test. They would, okay, how many push-ups can you do in a set amount of time? How many sit-ups? How many pull-ups? You know, how fast is your mile? And I remember then, I remember on the wrestling team, I was always the slowest one, with running, because I'm not a runner, but I could run distance. So I could be like, oh, I'll run 2 miles. It'll take me 30 minutes to run 2 miles, but I'll do it and I'll be fine. But in wrestling, we'd be like, all right, I need you to do that mile in 2 minutes. Like, what?
That was the worst. People don't understand how shitty wrestling practices are. I
remember I would get into arguments with my friends. They'd be like, oh, this sport's so hard. I'm like, what'd you guys have to do today? And they'd be like, oh, we just did some laps around the gym. And then your practice is over. And they were like, yeah. I'm like, dude, that was the warm up to the warm up. That's what we did to prepare us for what coach was going to do.
Yeah, when it was too cold outside, we would run in that ox gym and just circles for...
But there'd be 40 of us.
Yes.
There'd be 40 of us, so the heat would pick up. And then Coach Abrams would sit there and be like, crank the temperature on that. Oh my God,
yeah. No. That wrestling room, because for those of you who don't know, you have to maintain your weight. Yeah. So you have... And there's no nutrition taught to you in wrestling, which is horrible, right? I want you to lose 20 pounds, but I don't want you to know how to do it. I'm just going to work your ass to death and then pray to God the weight comes off.
Also, if you get in trouble or you have to go to the doctor, I'm not responsible for it.
No, of course not. Of course not. That's why you had health insurance, son. That's why you signed those papers, so we're not liable. But so they would crank up the heat in the wrestling room. You have to maintain your weight, so you're not drinking some people had to drink crazy amounts of water because you sweat like nuts.
Seriously, I never drink water during practice, and people looked at me like I was a crackhead.
Well, a lot of people would want to be making weight at the end, so they didn't want to have to.
This would be 2 months before your first tournament. But did I make weight? Oh no! All right, I'm not doing good enough.
Weight cutting's a science.
It's a science,
and they literally. When I was in wrestling in high school, it's just a guessing game. Seriously.
Oh yeah, I remember one of the meet against Rancho that we had. One where homeboy just dropped his bridges and was like, yo, I'm here to weigh in. So with that, I remember that day, all I had was a sandwich for lunch. Just one sandwich. And the morning before, I was 8 pounds basically in between the lower weight class and the weight class I was going to wrestle at. So it was fine. I eat that sandwich. I get to the weight room. I'm 3 pounds over. And I had used the bathroom at this point. And I was like, how am I 3 pounds over? From one sandwich. Maybe my metabolism was like, nah, we holding on to all that.
That's nuts.
So I remember you remember those? I still have it. I'm supposed to give it back, but I never did. But the first hoodies we ever got, the crew necks.
Sweater, right? But they were plasticky.
Well, no. It was just a straight up sweater.
Okay.
But it was the OG ones that just said Cheyenne Wrestling on it.
Yeah.
I still have that. And it's funny because back then I was wearing mediums and it was an XL. Now I'm like, oh, this is perfect. It fits me great.
This is lovely.
So I remember I had to wear that and the sweats that we had, and I had to do sprints in the auxiliary gym. That match I lost because I was so exhausted from just trying to make weight. Yes. And I was like, oh my God.
Yes. Because there's that battle to make weight, and we'll go into it. So a weight cut for me, I was in high school. I was
what
around.
What year? Because I was a different weight class each year.
This was sophomore year. And okay. I had wrestled 182 the year previous. And I was already at one.
Jeez.
I was hovering around 190. So I had to make the choice. I'm like, do I cut 8 pounds? Which in reality now and knowing everything I know would have been easy.
Oh, no.
It's just a little bit of discipline.
I don't do it, but I should. But I know how.
Knowing when to eat, knowing how much I sweat during a practice. I would have been a lot more methodical with it. But back then I was like, oh, fuck, I don't want to lose 8 pounds. So I was like, I'll just wrestle 195. And boy, was that the wrong choice. It's crazy the amount of difference in strength. I mean, I was just a sophomore. I was getting stronger, obviously, but there's no way I was going to compete with some of those fucking seniors that were just jacked.
For me, so freshman year, just so everybody knows, I was wrestling 126s, 120s. I was doing 120s freshman year. I was a tiny dude, but I was long. I'm tall. I'm about 5'11". So for 120s, most of those guys, you remember Chase, the dude on varsity who was this tall?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was a beast.
Yeah, he's still a beast. That's how tall most of my people would be. So I would just hold them out here. I would have all the reach advantage. So they could be strong all they want. But by the time they came in, I was already had them wrapped up and flipped over. But sophomore year, I went to 126s, and I was like, these dudes, like, they do push-ups for breakfast. And then junior
year, no, Mom, I don't want my Wheaties this morning. I'm just going to pump out 15.
Yeah. Junior year, that's when that was the highest I wrestled at, because I got an injury and I couldn't wrestle senior year. But junior year, I was 132s, and I was like, these are like the Weenie Hut Junior to like the Cool Club in SpongeBob. I was like, damn, these dudes are big. Do you remember that school that was like up in the mountains for like the really badly behaved kids?
Spring Mountain.
Yeah.
Spring Mountain.
I remember I had to go up against one of those dudes, and he came out and he was just like, what's up? And he was like Zavi, dude. But he was like almost a foot shorter than me. And I was like, I think I beat him on points. I just kept like, all right, I gotta sprawl. I gotta get a takedown. I gotta sprawl. I gotta reversal. I just can't let him get me on the ground.
I wish like I can go back, because I stopped doing wrestling after sophomore year. Yeah. I believe you did the same, correct?
No, junior. I did junior year.
So I stopped after sophomore year, but it's because like I was so forced into wrestling. It was a sport I had never done before. And being a sports fan, dude, I had seen every sport in my entire life. And then I get to high school, and then they're like, oh, here's wrestling. And you play football, you're going to wrestle. And like,
so who forced it on you? The coaches or?
So listen to this story. At very first, it was like towards the end of the football season, freshman football season. I walk into the locker room to like get changed after practice. And then Coach Abrams, and for those of you guys to know what Coach Abrams looks like, he's just like about 5'10", just absolutely chiseled and jacked old man.
But with the flexibility of a stripper.
Add that on to one, like he didn't have the crimson chin. He had the crimson forehead. Oh my God. This dude's forehead was the strongest forehead in America.
He just headbutt you and your face would cave in.
So me, little like innocent freshman, changing. This man comes up to me, shakes my hand, just the hardest it's ever been shaken before in my entire life.
That's probably like 20% power.
It's not like wrestler's grip, right? He's like, so you're gonna wrestle, son? And I was like, I've thought of it, you know. I'll see you at practice on Monday.
See, I was the opposite. I was the opposite, man. Because like, so growing up, my dad wrestled in high school. It was super cool, because actually I have a picture of his varsity hoodie next to mine. Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, this is sick. Growing up, he would always like put me in holds and shit. And I'd be like, stop it, I'm freaking out. I'm claustrophobic. I don't know what to do.
Would he cradle you?
Oh yeah, he cradled me.
My dad would cradle the fuck out of me.
He still tries to cradle me. But now he can't, because I weigh more than him. So I just overpower him. Like, nah, dog, I know what to do now. This isn't how it's going to work.
Yes.
But like going like 8th grade, and I remember I got into a fight in 8th grade in PE. It was that like super short little scrawny white kid.
No, there wasn't too many of those at Swainston. There was about you and like 4 other ones.
Yeah, but me though, I had the long hair. This kid had the blonde hair and it was short.
I'm blanking.
Anyways, one time, him and I got into a fight, and I did like a really
Diego.
No.
Oh
no, not tracksuit.
Yeah,
no, not tracksuit. Okay. No, this kid was like this thin.
Yeah, nope, I'm lost. Go ahead. Tell me how you whooped his ass.
So, well, you were there. I'm surprised you don't remember, because I did like a super shitty takedown. And Mr. Tommaso, who, for people who don't know, was our 8th grade teacher, he's also the varsity wrestling coach for Arborview. So he's the one who talked me into it. Because he saw me do it. He's like, hey, man, you got a good stance here. It wasn't good. It wasn't like a good takedown, but you had a good setup. He's like, I still got to send you to the deans, though. He was like, that was good. You should think about wrestling in high school. And I was like, oh, okay. And like, when my dad did it, I was like, so when they announced that intramurals were starting like that Friday, I was like, bro, I am going. I got the shittiest wrestling, like not even wrestling shoes, shittiest like running shoes I could find. And I was like, all right, we're going to do this. From day one, I was like, whoo, I'm tough now, because I just took 12 takedowns to the ribs. Let's go.
People like you got to understand too. It's like it's all practice in wrestling. It's just nothing but repetition, and the only way to do it is to spar against another person.
Spar, and like here's the thing, because I met all 3 years, because you were doing football, so you weren't really there for beginning intramurals. But
those were horrible.
But intramurals were fun, because we wouldn't do much. We would just, it would be like, all right, we're gonna run 4 laps on the track. All right, do that. Do bleachers. Okay, we're gonna come inside, do 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups. You're done. That's practice for today. We would do that for like a month. So I was like, cool. And it's good. I would always suggest doing that, because it ramps you into shape.
Yes.
For the season.
Yes.
Every year you get these kids that were like, yeah, Rey Mysterio, John Cena. They would come in and like do all these like jump fucking like slams and shit. And then they have to run 2 laps and they're like,
yeah,
and they can't hang. And then you just see all these people drop off, and you're like, all right, cool. Yep. Now it's just us.
They realize it isn't Captain Insano and
Captain Insano, show no mercy.
Yeah, like it's a completely different world, and like wrestling coaches gotta, like, obviously in high school, if kids haven't experienced what actual wrestling's like, they think that shit's real. Like think you're actually going in there and doing, F-150s.
F-150. Also, here's the thing. I had to explain this to a lot of kids. They're like, does wrestling hurt? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, why do we let us do it? I'm like, it's going to hurt. It's like football. If you're a running back and you're going to run into a bunch of dudes, that shit's going to hurt. If you're going to catch a pass in midair, that shit's probably going to hurt because you're probably going to get fucking met on the ground. Like, it's going to hurt. You got to prepare for it.
The best wrestlers, when they go into their match, the mentality, it's not to win the match. It's to like hurt you in ways, get ready to kill you. Like,
see, I never did that. And I did pretty okay with matches.
But what I saw, like, from people that were really intense and like really focused on, like, I'm not going to get my ass whooped. You know what I mean? So like, I saw it out of a couple people. I saw it out of Elagio Schuler had it in him.
Jojo, good old Jojo.
Horrible at every other sport. Shout out to Jojo, but wrestling was his shit.
That's because like a lot of people have that ego and pride thing. Like, no, I'm not about to let you body me on this shit. And
that's it.
It works. For me though, I was like, no, I'm going to outsmart this dude. Watch. I was telling you, I had those foreign exchange students from Clark my sophomore year, and like I wrestled them back to back, and like their coach was arguing with our coach about points, and he was like, bro, either way, your guy is still 2 points down. No matter, like, if you want to raise it, fine, my dude still wins. But the dude comes up to me and goes, you're very good. I was like, thanks. But I always saw it as like a mentality of like, okay, what did I learn? How can for me, it was like a chess match. Like, okay, I got to be, especially with varsity.
Yeah.
You go into a varsity match, you're not going to just brute strength somebody into a hole because they'll just worm right out of it. And you're like, where'd you go? Now I lost. That was 10 seconds. That's over. Or JV? Oh yeah. Just run in there and just slam a dude. And that's another reason that people do that, because they realize in JV, just slam a kid good enough, they'll be like, all right, I'm done, dude.
Yeah. They won't say I'm done, dude, but
they'll just stop.
They'll kind of just start not fighting back as hard, and they'll just end up on their back and just like, oh, the pin. Yeah.
See, my favorite thing, I did this a lot my junior year, is I would let them go for and get the takedown, but I would just use their momentum and roll them out of it, and all of a sudden they're pinned. That was my favorite thing, was just let them shoot in. All right, cool. You got the single. I'm going to wrap my leg around your hip. We're going to roll. I'm going to flip you on your back. I'm going to hold you there. That's it. And people would just be so thrown off by it. They'd be like, how did you do that? Like,
it's takedown defense.
Yeah, takedown defense.
My favorite
physics.
My favorite move out of getting shot on is the cow catcher. You know, people shoot in on your legs. You're able to crank underneath their neck and one arm, and then you flip them after already sprawling. That was probably like my most successful move. Other than, when you see a takedown, you sprawl, you hands on the shoulders, get your legs back. You know what I mean? And
crossface, dude. Every time you got a crossface.
Well, yeah.
That's how
aggressive crossface.
You can't hit in wrestling. I remember my first match ever, JV newcomers tournament. You were there. I remember we were both there. And this kid like slapped my headband over my eyes and was like, oh, this bitch. It's like, no. I was like, we ain't doing that. And what's funny is, if you remember, my ROTC instructor was there, and poor dude. So he had a stepson who did not like, and Dallas, yeah. So his dad was sergeant major of ROTC. I remember for my match, I just hear, hit him, kill him. I didn't even hear Coach Tank. I just heard the ROTC instructor just yelling at me. I'm like, I don't even know what he's yelling, but I'm fired up. Let's do this. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, Sergeant Major Dallas wrestling. He's like, I'm gonna go get a hot dog. I'll be right back. I'm like, what? All right, cool. But yeah, takedown defense is just it's crazy. It's like the most overlooked. People just want to learn how to shoot a double or shoot a single, which people always like shooting doubles, but like I always shoot. I always love just shooting singles because you can embarrass somebody with those.
I always learn that you look for, if the double's there, you take the double, but if not, you get that one leg and you can.
I always get the one leg because it was so much easier for me to convert to on the ground with a
single. You
can
go from a double to a single though. Like,
you mean you go from a single to a double, because you can get the one hot and then shoot back in, get the other and flip them.
I guess you go really either way from it.
Because with the double, you already have them. You're already halfway into that twist into the mat.
But if they're already, if you go in for the double and you shoot right and you don't wrap up all the way and they sprawl, then, you know, whatever side you're on, you're naturally just going to like grab that leg, I feel, and then you could work from there. But I also know that the single to the double, if you shoot it on a single beautifully,
it's almost like it's unfair.
Guaranteed. Yeah. If you shoot in perfectly on a single, it's easy to get that.
I was disrespectful. I would get the single and just kick their foot out from under them and let them bounce.
Yeah, do a little trip.
Yeah, just not even trip. I straight up would soccer kick that shit out from under them. Bam, and just let them.
Fun sport.
I miss it. I was gonna do jujitsu before, you know, the plague happened, but here we are. So I did it for like 2 years in high school, and it helped a ton. But I learned it from like my friend who used to teach it, and then he was like, I just didn't have time anymore. He's like, I got a real job, and I was like, what? You can make bank teaching jujitsu like in like an actual studio and everything. But that like freshman to sophomore year, my game totally changed because I was like, oh, I know how to like roll with people.
Yeah,
it's not just because wrestling. A lot of it is just like, imagine like just two like steel or just like two rocks just grinding. Yep. That's a lot of JV. Varsity is like silk just flowing around each other. It's a lot of just like fluid movement and just countering especially a counter to a counter.
Lower weight classes too. A lot more energy.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, they're like you'd see those 106 matches and it would just like, be like two little flies just like
all of a sudden you just hear pin. You're like, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. What happened? You remember Big Leo?
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
I remember the first tournament ever.
Worst drug dealer in all Las Vegas.
I remember he got into a fight over a milk in high school.
Yep.
But I remember the first tournament ever. Somebody comes back because Coach Tank couldn't be there for his match. And they come back and he goes, what happened to Leo? And they go, dude, he got taken down. And Coach Tank goes, and I agree with him. He goes, if you could take him down, you deserve the win. Because Leo was pushing over 300.
Oh, easily pushing over 300.
Yeah. And it was just like, oh my God, did you just seriously take down Leo? Like, good job.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
I'm gonna put it on pause for a sec. And we're back. My dog Cece was whining and it was just annoying the absolute crap out of me in my headphones. So I was like, it's gotta stop it. But anyways, awesome. You have an illustrious music career. I mean, ever since I knew you back in middle school, you were guitar savvy and, you know, you're really well versed in everything music wise. What got you into music?
So, growing up, I was around music all my life. So my mom did state choir for Nevada and she went to Europe and performed. My dad played drums when I was growing up, and then his brother played guitar. That's what got me like really. I was like, guitar. So for my 10th birthday, I got just a really cheap Fender Squier, just like $100 guitar, and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever got. So to compare it, my grandmother got me private lessons with this guy she worked at the DMV with who offered private lessons. Too Long Didn't Read, just for people who are going to be like, what? I took lessons from that guy for 10 years.
And he didn't read?
No. It's just called Too Long Didn't Read. Like, just to sum it up.
Oh.
Yeah, no, dude, he didn't read. Bro, he didn't know how to see. He didn't know how to hear. Like, he didn't even know I was there.
Blind master.
I just watched him.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I took lessons from him for 10 years. So the way it started was I did guitar class 6th and 8th grade. 7th grade, I was like, I'm going to do the morning announcement. Worst thing ever. I didn't learn anything. I learned how to use like Movie Maker, and that was about it. I was desperate to be in a band so bad from the day I picked up a guitar. I didn't even know how to play like a note. I was like, blink, 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 blink. And I was like, this sounds like garbage. But I was like, I'm going to be in a band one day. I'm going to do it. The first band I was ever in was right after 8th